Okay, what we have in front of us is, now if you buy an LGB starter set, keep in mind that the colors and things may vary on the cars, but this more or less is the same type of car you're going to get if you're buying an LGB starter set. Okay, I'm going to start with the bottom and work my way up to show you the different features the car has. Okay, now what you're going to notice on the bottom is, you're going to notice that the car has two sets of wheels, single axle wheels. They have little bogies that turn on each one of them. Okay, like this. Okay. Then you're going to have a hook on the one end. Okay. Now you're going to notice that the couplers, they're not like regular American couplers. You notice how there's like a hoop here. Well, this is a hoop, and what happens is the one car has a hook like this, and what happens is this actually hooks into here, and that's how you connect your train. Now, one of the things you keep in mind is, if you want to use American style couplers, there's a little screw here. You can unscrew this, and then you can use the American style knuckle couplers if you want, like they have on American trains. This is actually the German variety, and that's one of the reasons I stick with this, because I like the way the LGBs are built right out of the box, so I never had to change these. So I just basically stick with the standard hook couplers that they have on these. Okay. Now we're going to start with another detail. Now, one thing you're going to notice about these is, when you buy these trains, you're going to notice that the wheels and things are plastic on these. Now, the plastic wheels are fine, but one of the things I suggest you do, if you're buying a starter set, one of the things I suggest you do is, you go ahead and you get yourself a wheel upgrade kit. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay? This is a wheel upgrade kit. Okay? What you're going to do is, you're going to take your standard wheels and you're going to replace them with ones that look like this. And I can actually show you what it looks like on the box. Okay, it says LGB metal wheel set with spoke wheels. These are actual metal wheels to replace the plastic ones. You see what those look like? Now, the reason why you're asking, why would you want to use metal wheels? If you're running your train a lot, like I do, if you run it every other day, these plastic wheels over time, the edges and things can get marred up on these because of the fact it's plastic. If you run your trains a lot, like I do every day, it just ages better if it's made out of metal. So that's one of the things I do, is I upgrade the wheels to metal wheels. I'm going to have another video showing you how I go about doing that on these cars. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Most of the starter sets, when you buy them, they're going to be plastic wheels, so just keep that in mind. You might want to go ahead and upgrade those to metal wheels when you're buying your set from whatever place you're buying it from. You're going to notice that the wheels and things are under accessories for LGB if you want to order a set of wheels for the car. Okay, now I'm going to show you the side of the car as well. Okay, now one of the things that's cool about these is, on this particular one, is it actually has little doors that open and close. See these little gates? There's like little gates that open and close. That's one of the details. It's got little gates that open and close on the side. Then you're going to have things that look almost like there's a netting on the side here. I'm going to see if I can get a better angle. There you go. Yeah, almost like there's a netting on the side here. That's on the end. It's almost like there's an actual netting, which is really, really nice feature. You're also going to notice, too, that there's little doors on these cars, and the little doors actually open and close on these particular ones. They open and close. Okay, now you're going to notice on the windows, you have your standard windows. Now, you actually, on these cars, one of the things this car does not have, it does not have lights and it does not have people, but I'm going to show you how you can go about upgrading that, okay? Now, the way you add lights to these cars, and I'm going to have another video showing how I add the lights in. What you do is you actually open this car up on both ends on the top here. You can actually open this up. If you lift up on these gently on top, okay, let me go ahead and show you. If you lift up gently on top on these on both sides, you give them a gentle tug, you're going to notice that the top of the car actually will come off, okay? Now, what's going to happen is, inside the car, okay, this is basically where you can put your people inside the car. You can actually have them sitting inside the car, so when the train comes by, you actually have little people sitting inside the car. Now, those are also optional. They don't come with the set. They're optional if you want to do that, okay? So that's a basic overview of what the car looks like. Now, if you want to attach the lights, that's going to be in another video. The lights actually attach to this point right on here underneath the car. This right here is where the lights can attach if you want to illuminate your cars as well, okay? Now, I'm just going to show you the other car that came with this set that I bought, and then I'll go ahead and show you one or two other things, too, to keep in mind when you buy a car. Okay, this is the other car that came with the set. Okay, now this is the blue car. It's basically the same as the other one. The only difference is it's blue. It's blue and cream rather than red and cream. Okay, all right. Now one other thing I'm going to show you If you remember, I mentioned about doing a light. If you remember, I mentioned about doing a light upgrade. This is what the light upgrade looks like if you want to do it. Okay. This is a light upgrade set. As you can see, there's a light bulb inside here, and then inside here, there's little connectors. These little connectors right in here, these actually plug into the engine. If you go to my LGB, go to the LGB steam engine video, you're going to see where exactly these lights attach to the back of the engine. These are actually connectors that go to the back of the engine, and then there's a light inside here, and it powers inside the car along with the engine. And then there's another one that goes from one car to the other one, and then there's a light for each car. Now these are actually extra. These are not included with the set. This is another item you might want to get. I highly recommend lighting your sets when you buy them. Having lighted passenger cars adds a whole lot of more fun to your layout too as well. Now, one thing to keep in mind is some of the accessories, they vary in price depending what you're going to be doing. I usually anticipate if I do the wheel sets, if I do these two things together, if I do the wheel sets and I do the lights, which is what I one of my standard things when I buy a set, you can figure probably on the wheel set you're probably talking about maybe $20, maybe $15, $20 for two. On the lights, you're talking maybe $10 to $15 for one. So you got to figure it's going to be probably on average it's about maybe $70 to $100 more if you want to do the light upgrades and the wheel upgrades for both cars together. This is one of the things that I recommend that you do if you're starting out with an LGB train set. Now, there's one other thing to keep in mind. Let me go ahead and put the camera back so I can show you something too. Okay, let me show you something on this engine that's very important. When you're buying an engine, if you remember, okay, when you're buying an engine, if you remember what I was saying to you about lights, it's very important that on the back of the engine, you want to make absolutely certain that it's got things like these plugs in the back here that I'm showing you, like these little plugs, or it's got a connector. This is where the lights actually plug into the back to power the passenger cars. You want to make sure that it has connectors like these to connect the lights to. This is a standard engine that came with those other two cars I showed you, with the blue car and the red car. This is the actual engine that came with that set. It was a green engine, number 2, came with those two cars. This was a complete set that I had bought. Okay, now the one thing to keep in mind is I don't know if this set is available anymore or not in this particular color. This is what's known as vintage LGB. This LGB engine is probably, I would say probably about maybe 5 to 10 years old based on the condition and everything that it's in. So remember that the main thing to keep in mind is when you're buying an LGB set. Now this is just in addition to the cars. My suggestion is if you're just getting an LGB, go ahead and start out with an LGB starter set. You'll get your feet wet. You'll get a chance to see what you think of LGB. And there's another advantage of buying an LGB starter set. If you buy an LGB starter set, on average, you're going to have connecting wires that are going to need to be used to connect the train. You're normally going to have a power pack that's going to come with it, and you're also going to have a circle track. So basically, you have everything you need to get started in entering the world of LGB. And those are the engines that the engine I showed you in the other video, and these two passenger cars. That's how you get your foot in the door with LGB.